Welcome to You Are the Prize. I'm Lex.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're talking about one of our favorite topics, which is food.
Food, yeah. And parties.
Food and parties.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. What, when you show up at a party, is there anything you're looking for when you first get there?
A snack.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I ideally want every party to be like a wedding.
Oh,
I want somebody to come by with a tiny crab cake. And that is, my expectations are way too high. And you're like, fine, I'll have a martini olive.
Yeah.
And there's a world that exists in between those two things. And it's like, most people have not perfected it, of like the party snacks. Party snacks are hard to get right.
Yeah.
And like, you know how I feel about children, but I do think that their parties in general, like, have the best snacks.
Sure.
And there is an art to like create, like the vibe is partially the food.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because if you show up to a party and they have those really cheap Safeway cake cookies versus if you had something that was curated for you or that, you know, looks appetizing.
Or contained ham.
Or contained ham and cheese.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great segue, as we're practicing our segues,
Getting
to
segued.
today's guest. I'm just going to read her bio. Her name is Lauren Delp. She's the founder and CEO of Silver Lake Socialite. She's a wife and mother of two. And previously, Lauren was an account director managing global advertising for Apple. In 2017, she took a step back from her career to spend time with her kids. And a few years later, she discovered her passion for creating charcuterie boards. By 2020, this passion had evolved into Silver Lake Socialite, a thriving business. Each of Lauren's boards is thoughtfully curated using the finest, freshest ingredients and artfully designed with an emphasis on color, dimension, texture, and movement, elements that have become hallmarks of her work. Lauren has worked with celebrity clients as well as major corporations and studios, and recently outfitted the tables at the Grammys with her artwork, which is so exciting. The 4th year you've done that.
Thank you.
I remember last year I texted you because Trevor Noah shouted you out at the Grammys.
Unbelievable.
And I was just like, oh my God, that's
what
incredible.
What is life even?
Yeah.
That was wild.
4th time, what was it like this year?
It was awesome. It was so smooth. I think we're like a well-oiled machine now. I have the same team. I sort of know the schedule, backing it out, prep days, what to order, etc. But I'm amazed every year because the process there's 2 executive producers, Raj and Ben, and they are just incredible, and they trust me, and they have a respect for my business that I think is unbelievable, considering that they're putting on this humongous production and there's a zillion details and celebrities and performances and things, but they still, there's a meeting and I bring options and we talk through them and they have an opinion on what's included, but they also trust my perspective. And so it's just really cool. And then after, I send a message to Ben and I'm like, thank you. Every year I'm like, thank you for this incredible opportunity. And he replies, no, thank you for your stunning work. There's a respect there that it blows me away.
Yeah.
They're incredible to work with. The whole thing is just a wonderful experience.
I mean, I remember the first year that the board showed up, and obviously I was excited because it was you, but it also just added a different dimensionality to a stuffy award show.
Totally. And they're very aware of that. They talk through that.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we want them to have food. We want them to have food that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then it's like they designed they wanted a custom board that was curved so it would go around the floral arrangement in the center. And they set it up in the office and they talk through the color. It's just, everything is very deliberate. There's nothing about it. We talk through every single ingredient, but yes, they don't want, just something on a plate. There was a recent award show and there was a bunch of backlash, and they're just very aware. They want it to be beautiful, curated, needs to look good on camera. And then we've thought through the ingredients because they're obviously these are celebrities, musicians that are dressed up.
Yeah.
So we're not having sticky items and
spill.
items that will stain. Truly,
Wow,
this is we don't have fig jam, we don't have honeycomb, we don't do pomegranate seeds. We didn't want to do cherries because then we have, so it's every detail is thought through, truly. And that's not solely because I care, because I do care, they care too, because they care about every detail. So.
Does that make it fun? Like those kinds of challenges where it's like, what's the,
It is.
Yeah.
Like, and every year there is a different challenge. Like last year we tried a few different plates, and then this year the producer texted me on like a Wednesday, like the week before, and he said, "Wait a minute, I really love this rainbow board." And I'm like, okay, so executing that times 60 that's just a harder, it's just, there's a lot more details that go into that. And I said, and I love that he always wants to push the boundary. He wants to, change it up, keep it fresh. And so I took on the challenge, like, all right, yes, if you think that this is going to look good on camera, if you want something different, then yes, I will make it happen.
Wow.
I just wanted to back up to what did Trevor Noah say about the board?
It was so
when
cool.
he
So it was
shouted you out?
obviously last year was like
Sure.
there was a big segment on the fires, and but they didn't tell me anything, but that this was going to happen. And I was actually running late, racing home. I texted my husband. I called my husband. I'm like, put it on and start recording. He's like, well, what's going to happen? I go, I don't know. Just start recording. And he called me back 2 minutes later. He's like, oh my God, Trevor Noah just said your name. He said, we brought in some local businesses to provide the florals and the food for the table. And they mentioned the florist. And they said, we want to thank Lauren for the beautiful charcuterie boards. Of course, nobody knows who Lauren is, but that's okay.
Whatever.
I was like, you said my name.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. I mean, they obviously didn't have to do that. They didn't tell me they were going to do that. And it was just, the whole team is just incredible. Yeah. So, that was like, what? And then I got like a million text messages.
I bet.
Very cool.
Yeah. If somebody had said to you 5 years ago that this is where you would be, what would you have said?
You are out of your mind. I know people say that too. They're like, oh, 7 years ago, I never would have known. When I tell you this was like the 180 of a lifetime, and I think I am a testament to the fact that like, you can do a 180, you can find something new and do something new and find a passion out of the clear blue, like pretty much the clear blue. Like I was corporate America to the core forever and ever, went to grad school for it, studied it, worked my way all the way up, put in all the hours. That was what I was going to do because that's what you're supposed to. I mean, I loved it. I liked it.
Yep.
I would, but that was what I was going to do. Like, there was not a world where I'm starting a business. There's not a world that I work in food. So, I mean, I am just, it still blows my mind that this is my full-time job.
Yeah.
That I get to do this for a living. And that,
What was the spark? What was the, like...
Well, I mean, I can tell you there's a little backstory. I mean, I have to start by saying that this isn't, out of the clear blue. I always loved to entertain. So it's not, but I didn't go to school, I didn't go to culinary school. I never worked in food. But I was the 22-year-old that had no dollars, but had a full spread. Always.
God, those are the parties. Those are the
I would have
parties you
those
want to
parties,
go to.
and I threw the parties because I never liked the way anybody entertains.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
still, like, I usually show up with the board because I'm like, is there just going to be a bowl of chips and some, like, baby carrots? And, anyway, so I always loved to entertain. I would have, like, a full spread, a different version. I always had a cheese board. It didn't look the same, but... so that was kind of like in my DNA. Like I loved to entertain. Anyway, and then it's 2019. I was going to a preschool picnic. Same thing. There's always like Doritos and cuties and I was like, I want something to eat. I'm going to bring a bottle of wine and I'm going to bring a cheese board. Didn't think anything of it. That was just
for yourself.
just to have for the moms.
Oh,
but
for the moms.
I
Okay,
wasn't
yeah.
like I'm going to make a big statement.
Yeah.
It was there was not that much thought. It was like I would like to have some brie and some aged cheddar and some nice, beautiful crackers. Anyway, I bring it, think nothing of it, and the moms lose their mind in a way that, like, I was like, I was shocked, because that's just what I do. Like, it wasn't for attention. I mean, the moms, like, went on and on and on, and I was like, what? Anyway, so one of the moms is an actress, and she's, like, going on and on. And she's, Lauren, you should start a business. And I'm like, you've lost it. Like there's, I mean, truly, I wasn't being modest.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm corporate America till the end. Yeah. So the moms just loved it, and then and I remember asking her, and I said, okay, so I'm gonna start a business, and then you are a successful actress. You're gonna then order for me, like. That was the world that I couldn't even picture, Anyway, I leave there, and that was the spark. The spark was, Lauren, what if you just start an Instagram and you start making them for friends for free? Every time you have a party, you can just post something. Didn't even really think that much past that. But then like friends kind of were interested, and I was kind of making them for a few dollars here and there. And then I thought, well, you can like start a website, and it's just really slow. Anyway, fast forward about 6 weeks, and this actress's assistant calls, and she says, she's having a book launch party for 100 people, and she wants to know if you'll cater it. I mean, I probably almost fell over. I was like, well, and I said yes. I literally nodded yes, and then I hung up the phone, and I was like, you don't know how to feed 100 people. I mean, like, what does that look like? How much food is that? What would you do? I mean, talk about like just said yes, and then I was like, this is the opportunity. I like knew it. I knew I was like, this is a moment. Like, you just say yes to this. Like, who knows what comes next? But anyway, so I did it out of my, like very quickly got my licenses in place and and I did it out of my kitchen that day. And then part of the deal is she was going to post, and I could stay for the party. Anyway, this party was not like a regular party. It was like lots of successful producers and directors. And so for that to be my very first foray into this world was just an incredible opportunity. I mean, also probably right place, right time, but it wasn't like I was doing like a friend's backyard barbecue. Right, this was like, legit. This was a legit Hollywood party, you know? And I stayed there, and I handed out business cards, and and then she posted, and I got several thousand followers. And anyway, so yeah, so it all came from that. But I guess what that party told me was that like, there's interest in this. Like there was like, people respected, they valued it. I mean, I was like, okay, this is going to be a business. Like, I mean, people would, just loved it and told me that, wow, this is like so cool, and you're so talented, and this is what you should be doing. And so it was very validating, I guess, for like right out of the gate. I was like, okay. Yeah.
And were you still at your corporate job, or you had been taking a break at that point because you were like, that was because you were maxed?
I was maxed. That was 2017. I've been doing it. I'd been working with Apple for almost 8 years, and I have to start by saying it was the opportunity of an absolute lifetime, and the experience and it was. I always say like, it was boot camp for life. So I value it. So in the people that I met, like we were all in the trenches, and I could still call someone in Tokyo right now and say, I need help. Will you? Truly, I could call Yoshi right now and say, I need help. Can you fly to LA? Like there was a bond, and the experience
I'm getting chills.
I know, but is it not true?
It's just a really beautiful bonding.
It was, but it was amazing and wonderful, and it was also like.
Boot camp.
It was also a lot. It was also, I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. I was commuting 2 hours a day. I was working pretty much around the clock, working international hours. So I would work all the way until 1 a.m. and then I'd get up at 5 anyway. And so it was just a lot. And then I reached the point where I was like, I remember sitting on the kitchen floor with my husband. We were in the kitchen, sitting on the kitchen floor, crying, and I was like, these were the words that I remember because it's just like burned in my brain. I do not know what comes after this, but I know that I cannot do this for 1 more minute. Like I was just 10 miles past, I was stretched so thin. And then it's like you're trying to be the best you can be at work. And then I'm racing home to just rock my baby to sleep. And then I'm exhausted, So I mean, and working mothers across the board know this, but that was it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And that was it.
When we had chatted previously, you mentioned how you were like, all I know is marketing. Yeah. And I've gone to school for this in my life, and then all of a sudden you feel like, what else do I do?
I mean, there wasn't anything else.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I think I took 6 months or something, and then I was freelancing, and it was fine. And then I was like, okay, maybe you'll just take like a little bit of a longer break. But there was like no plan. I guess it was ultimately to go back to advertising, because what was I going to do? There was just nothing else, and I'm not the kind of person. I'm the type of soldier that's like, I did undergrad and grad school, and then I was at AAE, and I worked my way up, and internship first, and so there was no other plan.
Yeah.
But you just thought you would take a pause.
I would take a pause, but I don't even think I thought like, okay, then you're going to find what you really want to do, and you're going to dig deep, and you're going to find your passion project. No, that wasn't.
But you created space for yourself.
You're right.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I did. I allowed myself to like take a step back, heal a little bit, because it was a lot. At the end, it was just like a lot, and I was, you're right. I guess it just couldn't have happened if I didn't take that space, because I would have been grinding until the end of time. But it's very interesting though, because my mom's an artist. and a writer. And I mean, just like the definition of an artist, you know, wild hats and clothes and nails, the whole thing, right? My whole life, but she always said, Lauren, you haven't found your art yet. I mean, over and over and over. And I remember, but I would say, but Mom, I work on the business side of advertising. I'm an account manager. I'm not in the art. I'm not an artistic person. I probably said that.
Yeah.
I'm not creative.
Yeah.
I manage the schedule and I manage the clients and I manage the budget. And she'd be like, no. You're a really creative person. You just haven't found. I mean, she on a loop. And I remember thinking like, what could that be? Like truly, what could that be? Because I love dancing. I was a ballerina. Didn't have it. You know, tried 15 years. Didn't have it. And to have found my art. I mean, I just feel like I'm such a testament to the fact that like you can flip the whole script on its head. You really can. And you can do it at, how old was I? 38, 39. I mean, that's like wild.
Yeah.
You know? But I hadn't found my art. And if you had said, back to your original question, 7 years ago, your art's going to be charcuterie boards, I would have laughed until I was blue in the face, you know?
Does your mom now recognize, like, you found it?
Yeah. And she's like, and then another thing that she's like this sage, and she's my best friend. But the thing that, like, I think about this often, and it's what's the most rewarding part of this, and I access this when, I don't know, because, you know, it's not all inspiring every day, and there's a grind to it. She's like, the thing about art and creativity is that, like, nobody can take that away from you. Mm-hmm. And that, like, I think about that constantly. Like, I'll leave a job or a photo shoot or a, meeting, and I'm on a high, a high of highs, and I'll call her, and she's like, you did that. Yeah. It was your vision, it was your idea.
It came from inside of you.
It came from you, and then you did it, and you put time into it and effort, and you put your best foot forward, and you that's yours. And it's like today, I'll leave today feeling the same way about this conversation. This isn't a boss telling you what to do. This isn't a client that's saying this is, you know, this is the project, you have to execute it. This is like, you get to create it and you get to own it, and then when you get to leave, whatever happens, if anyone notices or not, or if it goes viral or whatever, that's yours.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's so much power in that, and that is the thing that, like, I come back to every time.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. So how do you incorporate, or how does your artistry show up in the work you're doing? And obviously we talked about your hallmarks, but what is that process like from a brief or a reach out?
I mean, it depends on the client. I do have, obviously I work with clients. It depends on the situation. A lot of my clients trust me like inherently, like make something beautiful. Oddly, you have hundreds and hundreds of orders, and hardly anybody ever says, can you make sure that there's no this or that, or can you do this? They trust. They kind of trust our process. I would say a lot of this has just been like organic. My style's evolved over time. Obviously, like the ingredients we choose, that's all evolved. But a lot of it's just like, feel like maybe in the way that, I hate to compare myself always to like a painter, but like, in the way that I'm like, oh, we need blue here, and this needs texture here. Yeah. And like, a lot of it's just like,
you're developing your craft.
Yeah, but it's like, it's organic. Like, it's just like and we have a style and we have a formula for it, of course, but a lot of it is like, but yeah, it depends. Like a client, like I worked with Waterloo Sparkling Water, and they wanted like a fun summer charcuterie board, and they had the things they wanted to incorporate, and it was like the rosé flavor. So there are briefs, and then I did a photo shoot for Airbnb and Doja Cat, and that was a totally different brief. That was like a gothic glam, like draping black grapes and figs and oozing honeycomb and caviar. Yeah. So the clients come to the table.
Delicious.
Right, I know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And why did we eat before I know. This? Also, why did I should have brought a board, my God. So yeah, there were different and then the Grammys was, we want a rainbow board with a color gradient that goes from red to blue. So there definitely are briefs. And that's all very challenging, and I love it. And then, but then of course there's like the moment when you get those briefs where you're like, can I do it? That, and that's the thing that I always had. I think that anybody, I think this is everybody across the board, like keeping like that fear in check and the doubt in check is like, I would say that's a constant. And then also like, so your instinct is, okay, well, this works. I have these boards, and this is how my business runs, and this works, and it's, successful. But then you have to I have to constantly be pushing myself to say, yeah, you can do that in your sleep now, but what's next? And so when a client calls and they say, that Airbnb thing was super involved, and there was several clients involved, and they had very specific vision, and then Doja Cat was involved, and and then you go, oh, wait, I can't do this. That's
the doubting voice.
Your inner critic.
It's wild though, and it comes, and that's the thing. I guess that I always had that. I definitely always had that in corporate America.
Sure.
But this, I don't know. I think I'm able to put in check more because, or I don't know. Maybe I push through it more because I believe in myself more with this. Maybe I've been validated more. People have told me, or they see more, my talent, or they vocalize that I have talent, but I have to continue to push through that. It's really interesting, and it's almost not daily challenge, but it's there all the time though,
And what does that voice sound like?
It's just truly I get inquiries quite often for very crazy things, someone emailed me that was a part of Pee Wee Herman's estate, and they wanted to throw this crazy party. I forget what it was for, but it was all Pee Wee, the brief was really Twinkies and heaping bowls of Red Hot Cheetos, so my first thing, I always check, okay, is this on brand? I've always run that through a filter of, and there is a difference, that's not what we do, obviously, I don't sell Twinkies, but then there's also a complete there's a food styling part of this business, so that's a totally different avenue, so that was more of a food styling job. But I don't know, the thought is well, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
But then I click back into, well, at Mal, in advertising, everything's possible. It's all possible. And by the way, I find very often that all the clients will come to me and they'll say, well, so-and-so said they couldn't do it on this timeline, and so-and-so, we've reached out to a few people and they're not willing to do it for XYZ reason. And my answer is yeah, we can do that. I mean, if I think it's a fit and I feel it, it moves my brand forward or would be fulfilling creatively for me. And so it's okay, no, you've never styled a Pee Wee Herman type table. And it was also very specific. They had a whole brief. And I'm you can do this. You have the creativity in you. You have the experience. You have the vision to do this. And, I sent them a mood board, and it didn't end up moving forward. But it's, I don't know, it's believing in yourself and betting on yourself over and over and over again. And then I shock myself too. That's the other thing, is I'm the instinct is, oh, well, and this is actually what I think a story we're telling is that for that Doja Cat shoot, they were well, we're going to bring you on, and then we're going to have a food stylist. I remember thinking, well, that's odd. I'm a food stylist. What? Why would there need to be? But I hadn't really done a production that big before. I'm well, okay, they'll have a food stylist, and I'll come. And I did the mood board. I presented it to the client. It was my vision. I bought the food. I designed the tables with my assistant, who's wonderful. And the food stylist kind of was there, and she kind of was in the background and kind of adjusting things throughout. And then in the end, I thought, wait, you are a food stylist. You executed this really cool photo shoot and it was beautiful, and they loved it, and the clients were all really happy. I'm so why did you? So I try to reflect on that, and I'm next time. You are a food stylist.
Yeah.
Right, you advocate for yourself.
Yes, you advocate for yourself. And I think you, of course, need experience to be able to back that up.
Even to know. Yeah.
So then as I take on bigger and bigger jobs, or as opportunities come, I try to go back to that. The doubt might come in, and I go, hold up, Lauren.
Yeah.
You've done this.
Yeah.
You've done something similar, or if you haven't, you can do this. You can, and but it's a very interesting part of the whole ride, I will say.
It's so interesting how quickly we forget when we've done something. And then it's the first time you've ever done it. Sometimes that fear is what it feels like. But then the flip side, when you're done, you're just fuck yeah, I killed it.
Yeah.
Because there's something inside of you that knows that you could kill it.
Yeah.
You just were getting distracted by all the fears and the doubts.
Right, the parts of you that want to keep you safe.
Yeah.
That you're, it's the inner critic is the one saying, oh, well, if you say yes to this and then if you can't deliver, then what is that going to feel like?
Yeah.
What's that going to look
And
like?
you have to push through that. But I think, the more you do something, the more you prove to yourself, okay, I just pushed the bar out a little bit further and then a little bit further. And then you become kind of unstoppable because you've now proven to yourself over and over again. I am curious if that like inner critic comes from all those years at corporate, like if that voice is even
100%.
yours.
Oh, right.
Or how many years?
Well, I think it started from ballet, which is the most
course.
critical thing that you can do, maybe ever. I mean, the discipline and the way they critique body
Your
and
body,
your lines
yeah,
and your.
yeah.
I mean, it's wild.
Yeah.
But again, I do think it was the like step one into. I mean, the attention to detail and the discipline and the grind started there and then went into corporate America.
Yeah.
But the thing that I also think about often is that I never, it was an incredible experience. I think I was good at it. I was fine at it. It was, I tried really hard. I put 150% in every day there. I, would reflect back on the meeting and reflect back on the call and what could you have done different, Lauren? And that, I think those are tools that apply, and that I apply those to my business now. However, I don't think that I ever had a sense of like, I don't think I ever felt truly, truly valuable. I also don't think I ever like relaxed into it. I don't think that I've ever felt in ease.
No.
Ever. At any point.
You're supposed to be grateful for the opportunity to be there.
Right. But I think the difference and I think this is something, if I could tell somebody this, it's like, I think when you find the thing you're supposed to do, it's not that it's going to be easy. It's not that you're not going to grind and work hard and be stressed and panic and all the things, and that self-doubt creeps in. But there is an ease to my life now with this that I like I can actually like breathe. I make the decisions. So I decided not to work today, or I decided I'm deciding which jobs, and I'm filtering them through like, does that fit my brand? But there is an ease because I'm doing something that I'm not like walking uphill with a boulder or whatever. I can do this. I can do this, and people think that it's valuable, and people order, and people like what I do, and it's just it's a totally different life.
Yeah. It's got to be so rewarding too. Like what you just said, people value what I do.
Honestly, that was the most shocking part of all of it. I can't even in the beginning, or even still.
Yeah.
I'll do an event, and I'll get an email the next day, and a client was like, blew everybody away. It was the talk of the party. You're so talented. And I'm like, and I still have to be like,
me?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's not, we worked 3 days. We worked around, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that. My heart, I put a lot of heart into what I do as well. So there's not an accident also that I think that people appreciated, because I put a lot into it.
Yeah.
This isn't, every step of the way, I'm checking all the details, and if my name's stamped on it, you better believe that I put everything I can into it. But the fact that like people find value, people see talent there, still like, it's wild to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that when you found your thing, whatever it is, I think that's the thing. That's like people that were dancers at 12 that could do it and that they were naturally talented. Probably ballet was more fun for them because they weren't working against, you don't have enough turnout, you don't have the legs for it, you don't have the height, and you don't have the extensions, and like if you have like the whatever that base is, like if it's creativity or it's maybe you're a fantastic business person, like or whatever it is. It's like I think it's just like locking into that thing. Of course, finding that thing is like
Sure.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get to find the thing. But yeah, that's been the game changer for me.
So, you did this total 180, but you have this incredible advertising background, and you had that moment of like, oh my God, if it's not advertising, what am I going to be? And how were you able to translate that experience of advertising to help your career?
I don't even think that I realized it. I think all of this kind of was just, I was kind of flowing with this. It was like a living, breathing thing. And I just kept saying, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to take that job, and we'll keep flowing. And then I think a lot of it was instinctual. It was like you post, and then, okay, well, this song has gone viral. You should use that song. And then, well, you're leading up to this holiday. You should be promoting that a month out. And I think it was I just was accessing it. And I don't think I realized, and people are like, wow, you have a lot of followers or this or that. And I'm like, I think I just was able to like harness that. I mean, because people have like just said that's really cool. The marketing side of your business is pretty cool. And I'm like, I just think it's like was years of, it also I'm very consistent. And that's another thing that, I mean, I just got a notification today from Instagram. You've posted every day for the last 126 weeks or whatever it was. Like, And I was like, oh, really? So I think there was also a consistency, but I absolutely harnessed all of that. And but it was a little bit like, it was kind of natural, I think. I don't think I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write a brief or I'm going to plan. I mean, I probably should have, but I just was kind of flowing with this all along.
But you've spent enough time doing all the preparation, really. You didn't know that you were preparing for this.
Right.
But your entire career really has led you to a place that allowed you to not only have this artistic output, but to market it in a way that it's like you didn't know the marathon you were training for.
No, exactly.
And like what a amazing
I know.
thing.
And people, because I work at this really beautiful shared commercial kitchen, and it's all like-minded entrepreneurs, and everyone's like all different concepts. I mean, there's bakers, and someone has a Greek food business, and there's, salad dressings, all kinds of things. But a lot of people are like, they have this crazy culinary background that I don't have, but they're like, how do I get followers on Instagram, Lauren? And I'm like, so they'll kind of be like, and so that's my background, and we share ideas and, lessons and things. But I guess it came easy, and I don't think I didn't really understand how or why. I was just doing what I knew, and and so I'm like, okay, the marketing part, that's kind of easy for me.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the accounting and all that stuff, like,
Same girl.
It's not. Thank you. So the business side, my husband helps with that because I'm like, oh my God, can you help me with the website? And
but we're not supposed to know how to do everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And like you happen to sharpen the marketing tool and advertising tool, and then you've been developing your creative arm in that, and then you have other people help out.
To fill in the gaps.
Yeah, so you can be focused on what you actually really do.
Exactly.
Well, and that's rewarding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mentioned chop wood, carry water. What is that?
My mom, the bug in my ear all the time. That's just very much like that. Chop wood, carry water is like you keep grinding, even when you have lost inspiration, motivation, you're tired. It's hard. And I think that's another thing that like I think about that a lot. Like the week after Grammys is like crazy, and there's all this attention and there's all these things and buzzing, and I'm inspired and I'm excited, and it's the hard work paid off. And then honestly this week I'm kind of like, I'm honestly pretty uninspired. I don't have like any brilliant ideas.
It's a ton of energy to output.
Right. Well, that's true. I'm also
There's always that.
I'm
There's
still
the
recovering.
downshift.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
But I tell myself this too, because I have big ideas and big goals, and I'm in this for like the long haul.
Sure.
And so I tell myself, you just keep showing up. Like I'm gonna work tomorrow, and it's not super duper exciting. I mean, we have an event on Thursday, and it's for a studio, and it's very cool. But you just keep showing up, and it's one board at a time, one day at a time, one post at a time. And I think that that's been a key to my whatever success I've had. It's just been like, I mean, you just want to, some days you're like, and I see that at the kitchen, there's businesses that like, they fizzle because it's like, really, do you want to go and make your cookies today? No, because you made those cookies yesterday and you have to make them tomorrow or whatever it is, So that's and I think it's a big part of it though. If you're going to do anything, and that's, you have to be real about that. And if you're not interested in that, then forget it. Because yes, there's these moments, and there's these sexy moments, and there's the payoff.
But those are the like.
Those
peaks.
are the
right. So
sporadics,
like what people don't see is that I worked 25 of 31 days in December, worked literally around the clock, was completely understaffed, was very busy. It was a very successful month. It wasn't particularly it wasn't newsworthy. It wasn't, but it's like there is a grind to it that is like. I think, and of course I have these like bigger goals, and like you just have to keep going.
It's the consistency of it, in the same way that marketing requires you to have a steady drumbeat for people to connect with something. And I think that that's like, for many founders, it's very exciting to get started on something. You know, it's like that startup energy is infectious. People want to go with you on your journey. They think it's like there's nothing stopping them, but it's like it is the daily grind that slows you down. And that's the difference between something that will have longevity. And if you are planning, you're like, this is the thing that I want to keep doing forever. You have to, chop wood and carry water.
I guess it's a really old school saying.
No,
I think my mom tells me that like once a week, I swear. I'm like, and I roll my eyes and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. You know, but it just...
It doesn't sound exciting, but it is the recipe for long-term.
It is.
Long-term success. And that is where I think it's like that's what you're trying to create.
Right.
You weren't just like, let me try this thing. And there's very different energy, I think, commitment-wise.
Yes, there's a commitment. That's right. That's the word that, And what was I going to say? I mean, I literally think I've posted every single day pretty close for the last 6 years. I mean, that is like...
It's a lot, yeah.
You know, and it's not always
people's
rewarding.
People's whole job is to do that. And so you're doing
and then
that
I'm
on
like,
top
I'm this tiny team and whatever, but like, there is a... I mean, there's just, I keep saying grind, but like, it's just not all.
It's not easy.
It's not all, but it's just not all exciting. And the inspiration is like comes and goes and fizzles. I did this like video that, ended up actually going super viral because it's like saying, being a small business owner isn't for the faint of heart. And it's like, it's late nights and early mornings and working when you're uninspired, and it's managing like all the jobs and being in charge of everything. And then having like, I have like all these dreams and I want bigger budgets to do all the, it's just, it's a lot, but at the end, it's mine.
Yeah.
It's mine. And I created it and I believe in it and I'm proud of it and I fight for it. But dang, like the day in and day out. Yeah.
Right. It's not easy, but there is ease. And that is, that is the difference, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it is so much more fun to do what you're good at. And it is so much more fun to be making your own rules.
Yes.
And even though that doesn't mean that you're letting yourself off the hook,
but
it does mean that you don't have to do performance reviews.
Right.
You don't have to commute for 2 hours. You don't have to answer to someone else's vision. That all comes from you.
But it's almost more pressure.
Of course.
Because it's mine.
Yeah.
So.
And if you don't put it in, then you're not going to see it.
I'm probably stressed just as much, if not more, because I'm like, but
what is the stress? Is it two different flavors of stress?
It's different flavors of stress. Yeah.
Tell
it's not
us,
like,
what are they each?
You know,
could you describe
it's
them?
like not. Well, I guess you never want to disappoint anybody, including the client. But I think in corporate America, for me, it was like, like disappointing that the powers that be that that wasn't a good meeting and that you didn't get it approved and that was a terrible call and you weren't organizing your team. It's like disappointing them, I guess, versus
yourself.
Lauren, these boards are for the Grammys, and this is your brand and your vision, and it's going to be on national television, and you've got to do that. And it's for me.
Yeah.
It's for me, and but I approach it with the same rigor that I had there. But it's not. I guess I'm not seeking. It's not seeking validation.
No. But what's ironic though is that you are getting way more external validation.
I know.
than you ever
It's
got
really
before. It's
the
like,
irony.
Yeah. You were seeking it and like needing it to just to maintain, like just to keep existing.
Such a miserable. Truly, such a miserable.
Well, I mean,
existence.
we would get Bliss gift cards. Remember that? We would get $250 to Jelena after spending 36 hours awake. And you're like, this... And then we would get reamed because the video that was uploaded was... And so then you really are just like operating from a place of fear, operating from a place of trying to please other people. And then, just also guessing, like, is this going to be right what I do? Is this what it be?
Right.
Like, it just...
There's not that. I
Right.
mean, and then, I think I've also then learned, again, from the corporate world, like, to get that brief from, if there is a client or whatever, it's like, what is your vision?
Yeah.
Like, what is your brief? And then but I guess the difference is, like, I'll be like, this is how I would approach this. This is my vision. This is my mood board, or this is my take on it. Kind of take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of now to a place, and of course, in the early days, you take every job you can.
Sure.
And I still, of course, I'm trying to like earn a living too.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'll send a brief and I'll send a mood board and I'm like, this is my vision on this.
Yeah.
And then
if it's not aligned, then
that's
it's
okay.
not aligned.
That's also okay.
Yeah.
And that's it's a gift.
Yeah.
If you find out early that you're not aligned and you could just go, versus, well, okay, let's try. Let's try to get closer. Let's try to, or
Yeah.
like to please 6 other people because there's all these layers,
Yeah.
and you're actually just trying to mind read what
Yeah.
the person above this person is going to want, versus having a conversation
Yeah.
at the start. It's like, tell me it's not aligned, and
then that's okay.
free me to go do something else.
Yeah.
But I think what's so rewarding about this, and now that I've been doing this, 5.5 years, clients, people come to me because they like my vision and what I do, my particular style.
Right.
That's the thing, again, that I'm always like, they're like, I scoured the internet and I wanted a charcuterie board or a table at my wedding, and I saw yours and I have to have yours. And I'm like, that's so cool. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Because, I mean, there are literally like maybe thousands of charcuterie businesses even in LA. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild. The community is really large, actually. But someone will be like, no, I'm willing to pay your price, or I want to work with you because I see that you have a particular style and I value your particular vision.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that just like still completely blows me away.
It's so rewarding.
And it's like when someone's expectation, it's like someone asking you to be yourself.
Right.
What a gift.
That's it. I mean, that's you hit the nail on the head. That's what it is. And they'll ask me, well, do you do this thing and this, like, there's a lot of like
Trendy stuff.
trendy things that I just don't do, that I just feel are like not, it's just not my style.
Yeah.
No shade to
Yeah.
anybody, it's just not my style. And I'll be like, well, we don't, or like, can you do a charcuterie board in the shape of a princess for my daughter's birthday? Nope, that's not what I do, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's somebody that will do that.
But that also takes confidence. I think that, like, as
Totally.
a creative person and wanting to say yes to things, but you have this filter. You have a brand. You've created.
I do.
You know who you are. You know what you're creating.
That's back to advertising.
Right.
And I'm pretty, I mean, earlier days, maybe I was stuck to it less, or I didn't even know what it was yet or
Right,
whatever. But
right.
now I'm pretty aware. I turn down jobs, like, not all the time, but like,
Yeah.
someone was like, we want to send boards to this group who launched their album or whatever, and it was probably like a big name, and they're like, but we want it to be in the shape of, it was some numbers or letters.
Sure.
And I was like, no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We are always talking about, obviously, the value of brand and having to, like, explain that to people, because not everybody truly understands the difference between brand and marketing. And it's like, if you're good at something, you should just be able to do it. Like, why wouldn't you want to do a charcuterie board that's in number? It's like,
right.
I think to someone who doesn't understand, like, well, actually, the kinds of boards I do create this kind of feeling and have this kind of, like, this is these are the things that are important to me that I am, like, because it is an art. And, like, that's what people are connecting with. And you want to attract the people who get it.
Right.
And
it's very interesting. I can tell the minute I get on the phone with a client, I can tell within 30 seconds what they're, are you here because you want, if you want the, any charcuterie board in the world for the cheapest possible price, you're not in the right place.
Right.
If you want my particular style and this is what it looks like, and I can show you 100 examples, then like, it is very, I guess, I had a sense of the brand fairly early on, and I'm constantly keeping that in check. But then I also am keeping that in check against, well, you got to keep pushing it forward, because creativity. My mom, the bug in my ear is like, you got to keep pushing it. So when the Grammys said we want to do rainbow color gradient boards, which is a lot more work and logistically harder, I said, yeah, but you have to keep pushing yourself forward, because when it gets stagnant, then the creativity dies.
Then it's less fun. Because you do, I think, as a creative person, you do want to evolve.
Yeah.
You want to find out what little edges of your skill set you haven't played with yet.
Yes.
Because it's like, that's where the joy comes, is
Absolutely.
like finding new corners that you haven't turned before.
100%.
And that does require risk taking and like, and possibly trying something that won't work. But you want to to keep going into those areas.
Yes.
But you have to start with like this foundation of knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And you can build from that. And and brands evolve, right?
Yeah.
It's like a brand shouldn't stay as it is, but it's like you have values. You have things that you can lean back on. And you're like, okay, I can try this thing because it still aligns with my artistic vision.
Yes.
And that's the piece that's like, that's the strong foundation that allows you to build something that gets stronger over time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but evaluating that, like someone approached me about like making a product, and I won't talk about it yet because I don't know if it's going to happen, but it is like way over, like a 180, and I'm like, well, that's really cool. That's something I hadn't even like thought of before, and that's something like I wouldn't go manufacture that because that's not my world, but that could open this whole world over here, and it is still on brand because it's actually using my images, printing some stuff, but yeah, I'm constantly evaluating like, does this push you forward creatively? Does this take you outside of your comfort zone, and is this exciting creatively, or is this this is just a paycheck and this isn't going to align with your larger vision?
Right.
I wonder if we can chat about you being a mom and a wife, and what that conversation was like with your husband. You're, blowing up your career, doing 180. Like, not everybody has that support system. What has that experience been like?
My husband's like an angel and this like calm, mellow human being that is kind of like just rides with me. Like, he's just like, he very much has always just accepted me for exactly who I am. Like, oh, you're gonna wear red lipstick and that crazy hat? Perfect, love you, look beautiful. But he's just like, and so he's kind of like, he flows with me, and we've been together over 20 years, and we just kind of like, we balance each other out really, really well. Of course, you can't like most people can't start a new business unless there's some sort of like foundation. Like, my husband had a corporate job that, he was like, okay, I'll take this on right now. And we, by the way, at a different time, I was the corporate job and he had a different business, whatever. Sure. Anyway, and so he's like, okay, like, you need to take this time. And he was totally supportive. I mean, to be honest, like, there was times where I was working out of my tiny home kitchen in Silver Lake for a while. And he was like, can you not make your charcuterie board? Like, can we find you a space? Because this is now like, because it was like all the stuff was everywhere, and my kids were little, and they're everywhere. And I mean, he, so there was a point where, and he's very much the operations guy, and he helps me a lot with the operations stuff. And he was like, we're going to take the next step, and we're going to find you a commercial kitchen, and we're going to do this. And so he helped me, because I'm very like, as much as I took this humongous risk, but I'm also a person that like wants to stay in the safe zone, which is why I would have stayed in corporate America forever, because I'm like, this is where you live, in this box, Lauren. He was like, okay, if you're going to do it, then let's like do it. So he helped me. I probably never would have taken that leap and gone to a commercial kitchen, and so he was like, we're going to find you a space, and you're going to like expand, and you're going to go there, and you're going to be able to take more orders, and you're going to have a walk-in fridge and all the tools that you need. So he really helped me. He's like my biggest champion. He somebody actually posted, this is crazy, they reposted my Grammys boards from the other week, and the woman who I have never met wrote this long passage on there that said, I randomly met this man in a pizza shop 4 years ago, and her husband, they got to talking, and her husband was just raving about her and her talent, her business that was just starting out, and like, now look at her.
And that's about you?
Yes,
I know. Cry.
And she was like, and I've never heard the story. Rob never told me the story. My husband, and he was like, and she was like, and to think that this man was talking about this woman behind her back, like in that way, and this was like a very long time ago, and she's like, now look at, she's done this huge thing or whatever. And I thought, Rob, did that happen? I go, do you remember? He goes, I remember that conversation. I said, yeah, that was a pizza place in Silver Lake, and I just was talking, whatever. And I thought, anyway, he's my biggest cheerleader. That's not to say, again, when it's like I'm grinding and I'm working around the clock and he's home with the kids, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, I will not sugarcoat any of that. Being a working mom, I don't care what you do, is so much, because you want to be everything to everybody all the time, and it's an impossibility. Yeah. So when I'm in that crazy work mode and I'm working around the clock, it's like, I have to dig so deep, come home, do bedtime, I'm making lunches. then my husband and I want to spend time with him, and we want to keep connecting. So it's a lot. Yeah. That balancing those three things that's a full-time job, you know.
And what do you do to balance yourself?
Oh my stomach. That's hard. I will say, like, I kind of like put myself last. I have to tell myself, Lauren, it's Monday. It's okay if you are just home today and you are just mellow and you're regrouping and but I want to push myself constantly, because I'm like, okay, Monday, pull the house together, get organized. I mean, it's rough. I mean, I try to like work out, running is a really great release for me. Finding the time for that's hard. It's a lot. I definitely could work harder. I need to like focus more on myself, because it's just so many. I would choose my family or the business over myself.
Sure.
I do constantly.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, let's move all of these things forward, and then I get left in the dust. I was just sick for 2 weeks. It's terrible. Like so run down, you know. So I'm not that great at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on that this year. Yeah. Yeah.
But you still feel better here than you did previously.
100%. And I say this, I'll do what I have to do to feed my children. If I have to go back to corporate America, I will. But I really hope to not ever do that again, because I am so much happier on the other side. Mm-hmm. I'm so much happier here. Yeah, I feel really lucky, honestly.
I mean, I'm just like so impressed, and I'm trying to be careful with using the word proud, because that has nothing to do with me. Whatever.
Well, I know,
but I'm just so like proud of you. Also, having us gone through those trenches and seen and understand how much that can beat you down.
Yeah.
And really like just, suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
And so for you to make that 180 and to come out and, not only just be a success, but to be a success expressing yourself is really inspiring for me as we're doing this thing.
Thank you so much.
Where we're taking a gamble, and it's scary to take a gamble on yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, so again, just
thank you for having me. This has been so cool
really,
having this conversation. It's like,
yeah.
And I'm honored you want to chat through my story. It's really cool.
Oh my God. I mean, I think it's going to be inspiring for a lot of people. And, I don't have kids. I'm not going to have kids. Yeah. But I think for so many people are in corporate and they have kids and they have a mortgage.
Yeah.
And
you think you're locked in forever.
You think you're locked in forever. And not everything is going to be a success where your kid's soccer mom is an actress or whatever. Right. But it is those kind of like certain things line up, and you have to just say like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to try this and just go for it.
Right.
And this has worked out so well for you.
And even like, I think if you decide like all of a sudden I love to draw or paint or cook or whatever it is, like do it because it fulfills you and because it like makes your soul happy. And then I think the doors start. I mean, that was my experience, and I do think a lot of it was right place, right time, and a lot of things had to kind of come into play for it to happen in that moment. However, like, I mean, I was gonna probably do it regardless. I probably would have kept doing them out of my house for forever, for a few dollars each, just because it made me feel like alive and I was creating something. It's so I think if you just have to like I said, like nobody can take that away from you. So like find the thing and then just start and do it, and then just like I think the doors will open.
Well, you're kind of lining yourself up for those. It's like you brought that board to that original event because you were like, I'm fulfilling my own need. You were like drawn to do it because you were like, I want to have this kind of experience. Right. And it's like that's a tiny little step of like just doing a thing that feels right to you.
Yes.
And then it's like you are lining up to what is coming from inside of you, right?
Yep.
And you keep listening to that, and you kept saying yes to that.
Yes.
You said yes even when there was like, can I do this? Can I, But there was something inside of you from the very start that was telling you could do it.
And I think it's also like, and I'm thinking about it more like, it's you kind of have to like shift your whole belief system about yourself, because I was raised in very much like you go to college, and then in my family it was also you get higher education, and then you can go into business. You can go. I mean, my parents were lovely and probably would have supported if I had wanted to do. I also really have always loved makeup, so that was always something like, which I might do that too at some point.
Yeah.
But like they probably would have been open to it. But during that time, it was like business, architecture, doctor, lawyer. Like these are the things that you go into. This is like what.
Those are the definitions of success.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like there was nothing. I mean, now these young kids are like on TikTok doing makeup and they're like making a fortune but like you had to go into these certain.
Sure.
That was my experience. That was
Yeah.
kind of like, and that wasn't ever said out loud. I absolutely probably could have done anything else. My parents supported my ballet dream, whatever. But it was like, yeah, success looked like this. And so when that didn't work for me anymore, I had to like shift my whole. Like, you're gonna go work in a kitchen and you're gonna make charcuterie boards. Like, I had to like my whole identity. I had to like success can just look really different. It doesn't have to like fit. I don't know. So I think that was making the leap internally of like, it can be a totally different success.
It can be your own definition of it.
Yeah. But I think I don't know that exists as much today. Today I feel like there's way more openness of you can be, makeup artist, or you can, there's all these things on TikTok. So you can be a home cook, or you can, but before I didn't feel that open to me. And so to make that leap, it's taken me a long time even to accept it was because it was just my identity was so tied to these traditional notions of what you do to be successful. And I've followed like the thing, I did all the things I was supposed to do, So I think if stepping outside of that was definitely like just a major leap. Totally. But like you saying, like if you just start, someone was asking me the other day, I'm like, just start.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is that you like to do, start. Like I actually like to write. Like, am I going to do anything with that? I don't know. But write something.
You also don't have to do something to make money.
Well, that's true. Right. Right.
You happen to have found a really nice niche where you enjoy entertaining and the artistry that comes from it, and you're rewarded for it.
Yeah.
But that could have also just as easily been, like you said, a hobby that which I think is a trap. And I think our generation of, what's the passion? And you have to, and then you're at work typing and you're like, what am I passionate about? That has to make me money. And it's just like, that's not necessarily.
I think you can't. Thinking about it like that is like.
Yeah.
You just start, and then I think if you're finding so much fulfillment, and I think the door is open. I mean, I'm a firm believer. I know manifestation is like everyone says it in
right
every word, in every day. Everyone says it all day long, but I think it drives me so much. It's just like I literally will still be like on vision, like the inbox with the opportunity. I work really hard at like, okay, what's the bigger thing? Now see yourself in it.
Yeah.
See it. And then it blows me away. I'll be thinking, God, I want to do like a photo shoot, and I'll say it out loud and I'll be like, oh my God, I just got an email.
Yeah.
That happens like really, I actually have been so busy that I haven't like been manifesting as much as I should. But like when I really focus on it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it works when you come from a place of feeling that you deserve it.
Yeah.
That you can like imagine yourself in that place. Like you have to already have the vision of that.
I know.
Of like yourself in that place. And I think that's the leap you have to make if you haven't done something yet. And it's like that's why you have to start small and you start to build that that muscle, right?
The whole thing of like leave your corporate job and start your catering business. Well, be realistic. People have bills to pay and they have things to, like. So that's not it.
No.
That's really not it.
No.
Because people are like, oh my God, the dream you did.
Right. How did you do this thing? And it's not that. It's not. This is not how you built this.
No.
This is how did you become a person who could take a risk on yourself? Like, what did you have to believe about yourself to get yourself here?
Yes.
And that's the whole reason why we invited you to come on this podcast called You Are the Prize, is because you completely embody the mindset of someone who, it's like you have to have believed that about yourself in order to
it's like these tiny beliefs, truly. Like, yeah. I kind of told my story, but there was so many times. There was the picnic, and then there was the party, and then like another example, like, I don't know, a few months later, right before COVID hit, a friend reaches out, do you remember Aaron? Yeah. And she reaches out and she's like, you should cater my wedding. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, no, that's a whole nother world. That is too much pressure. That is your big day. I think I even asked her, like, are you sure? And again, said yes, pulled it off, had no idea it was in Santa Barbara. I had never traveled, didn't have enough staff, all the things working against me. And you know, it ended up being featured in Martha Stewart. It was the most stunning wedding ever. But it was like, that was like another little tiny step. I took the chance on myself again. Like, I really didn't know how to do that. But I was like, take a chance. And then I was rewarded. What are the chances that the first wedding I ever cater is featured in Martha Stewart? Like, wow, it's stunning. The photography was stunning that I got to use on my Instagram. I didn't have beautiful stuff I could post. Anyway, so it's like that. But that door probably opened because I took that tiny leap on myself in that moment. And then when that door opened, then okay, well, now you do weddings. So now you can do.
But it's also being like attuned to realizing those are moments for you. Like, because that moment could have just passed and you could have stressed out about something else. But like taking a second to recognize, like, oh, maybe I did manifest this. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I needed photos for my thing and I happened to cater to this thing. And then that got me, so you have to be open to accepting that and just.
But then another kind of example is that happened and it was unbelievable. Then COVID happened and the world shut down. And I remember crying on the couch being like, well, that was fun. You had a spark of something and that was going to be really cool and you were very excited about that. But now that's over. No one's ever going to eat food together in public ever again. And then I pivoted, which maybe that's back to, and everyone was at home trying to celebrate their birthdays and anniversaries. And they're like, can you just send me a tiny board? And I made a million tiny little boards. I had a delivery driver that wore his mask, and he would
Lauren,
deliver it. And I did it all COVID.
Oh.
And it wasn't super duper lucrative, and my children were under my feet, and that's when Rob was like, "Oh my God, can you get a space?" Because we were on top of each other in a tiny little house. But I was like, no, I'm not done with this. I'm not done with this. Like, I actually haven't even thought about that. But I was like, no. That was something.
Yeah.
So sure, maybe I'll never do another large scale event. Maybe I'll never do a big photo shoot. But sure, I will make 100 little tiny charcuterie boards that no one sees. Yeah. It was, no one was posting about it. It wasn't a big deal. They were like little gifts going out in the city. And I just kept grinding through COVID.
Yeah.
So.
It's so great.
It's beautiful. It's so inspiring.
It is so cool.
Oh my gosh. It absolutely is.
That is so cool.
It is so inspiring to think, the idea that you can do a 180. You can, but you have to believe that you are capable.
Yeah. That's a great place to end it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This has been really fun.
Can't wait to see just where this all goes and know that you will honestly be like whatever you manifest.
I can't wait to throw a party.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
girl. Girl, I got you.
We have you.
Yeah.
We'll talk after this.
This has been so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you
so much for having me.
Yeah. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Make sure to like and subscribe where you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram at youaretheprize_pod and on TikTok at youaretheprizepod. And we'll talk to you next week.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of You Are the Prize. Until next time, go do something that feels like you.
And we hope that means liking and subscribing. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
And don't forget to check out our other episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
This has been a Studio Stab production in collaboration with the Champ Effect and Alt Entertainment. Original music by Scott Martin.